Okay, 30, what is this? 31.2 footnotes. The mythographers made a bold effort. One, the mythographers made a bold effort to reconcile the conflicting views of the afterworld held by the primitive inhabitants of Greece. One view was that ghosts lived in their tombs or underground caverns or fissures where they might take the form of serpents, mice, or bats, but never be reincarnated as human beings. Another was what the souls of sacred kings walked visibly on the sepulchral islands where their bodies had been buried. A third was that ghosts could become men again by entering beans, nuts, or fish and being eaten by their prospective mothers. A fourth was that they went to the far north where the sun never shines and returned, if at all, only as fertilizing winds. A fifth was that they went to the far west where the sun sets in the ocean as a spirit world much like the present. A sixth was that a ghost received punishment according to the life he had led. To this, the Orphics finally added the theory of metempsychosis or transmigration of souls, a process which could be to some degree controlled by the use of magical formulas. 2. Persephone and Hecate stood for the pre-Hellenic hope of regeneration, but Hades, a Hellenic concept for the ineluctability of death. Cronus, despite his bloody record, continued to enjoy the pleasures of Elysium, since that he had always been the privilege of a sacred king, and Menelaus was promised the same enjoyment, not because he had been particularly virtuous or courageous, but because he had married Helen, the priestess of the Spartan moon goddess. The Homeric adjective asphodelios, applied only to Liamones meadows, probably means in the valley of that which is not reduced to ashes, namely the hero's ghost. After his body has been burned, and except in acorn-eating Arcadia, asphodel roots and seeds offered to such ghosts made the staple Greek diet before the introduction of corn. Asphodel grows freely on waterless islands, and ghosts, like gods, are conservative in their diet. Elysium seems to mean apple land. Alisser is a pre-Gaelic word for sorb apple, as do the Arthurian Avalon and the Latin Avernus or Avalonus, both formed from the Indo-European root abol, meaning apple. 3. Cerberus was the Greek counterpart of Anubis, the dog-headed son of the Libyan death goddess Nephthys, who conducted souls to the underworld. In the European folklore, which is partly of Libyan origin, the souls of the damned were hunted to the northern hell by a yelling pack of hounds, the hounds of Anwen, Herne, Arthur, or Gabriel, a myth derived from the noisy summer migration of wild geese to their breeding places in the Arctic Circle. Cerberus was at first 50-headed, like the spectral pack that destroyed Actaeon, but afterwards 3-headed, like his mistress Hecate. 4. Allergies. Sorry. That's south for you. Styx hated a small stream in Arcadia, the water of which were supposed to be deadly poison, was located in Tartarus only by late mythographers. Archeron, stream of woe, and Cocytus, wailing, are fanciful names to describe the misery of death. Orinus, birdless, is a Greek mistranslation of the italic Avernus. Lethe means forgetfulness, and Erebus, covered. Philogethon, burning, refers to the custom of cremation, but also, perhaps, to the theory that sinners were burned in streams of lava. Tartarus seems to be a reduplication of the pre-Hellenic word tar, which occurs in the names of places lying to the west. Its sense of infertility comes late. Infernality comes late. 5. Black poplars were sacred to the death goddess, and white poplars, or aspens, either to Persephone as goddess of regeneration or to Heracles because he harrowed hell. Golden head dresses of aspen leaves have been found in Mesopotamia burials of the 4th millennium BC. The Orphic tablets do not name the tree by the pool of memory. It is probably the white poplar into which Luce was transformed, but possibly a nut tree, the emblem of wisdom. White cypress wood, regarded as an anti-corruptive, was used for household chests and coffins. 6. Hades had a temple at the foot of Mount Menthi in Elis, and his rape of mint is probably deduced from the use of mint in funerary rites together with rosemary and myrtle to offset the smell of decay. Demeter's barley water drink at Eleusis was flavored with mint, though awarded the sun cattle of Erythrea, Red Land, because that was where the sun met his nightly death. Hades is more usually called Cronus or Geryon in this context. 7. Hesiod's account of Hecate shows her to have been the original triple goddess supreme in heaven, on earth, and in Tartarus, but the Hellenes emphasize her destructive powers at the expense of her creative ones until at last she was invoked only in clandestine rites of black magic, especially at places where 3 roads met. That Zeus did not deny her the ancient power of granting every mortal his heart's desire is a tribute to the Thessalian witches of whom everyone stood in dread. Lion, dog, and horse, her heads evidently refer to the ancient tripartite year, the dog being the dog star Sirius, as do all Cerberus's heads. 8. Hecate's companions, the Erinesses, were personified pains of conscience after the breaking of a taboo. At first, only the taboo of insult, disobedience, or violence to a mother. Suppliants and guests came under the protection of Hestia, goddess of the hearth, and to ill-treat them would be to disobey and insult her. 9. Luce, the largest island in the Black Sea, but very small at that, is now a treeless Romanian penal colony. That's it. Oh, there it is.